Howdy folks. So let's see, where are we? Last time we got one speaker up and working, and I had noticed while playing around that the crossover on the other one was acting up. So while waiting for the components to show up to replace the dead tweeter and mid-range, I wanted to go ahead and troubleshoot and get the crossover working on the other speaker. So I'm going through here and swapping everything over and setting it all up so it can go. And we can do some testing. Not sure if you can hear it there, but it's breaking up a little bit on the low end. So about this point, I'm realizing that isolation testing would have been a good idea, and should have done that before I put the whole thing together. So take the whole thing back apart again. And we'll just test out one of the tweeters. And we'll test out the mid-range. It's actually sitting up on top of the speaker. You can't really see it there. And that one tested out good. So all three of the mid-range, the tweeter, and the super tweeter all tested out good. So then we hook the woofer back up and test what we already know. Not sure why I went through and put this all back together when I've already done this. And lo and behold, it's still breaking apart. Big surprise, being that we haven't changed anything. So if I remember correctly, right now I'm going to swap the woofers between the two speakers just to take that out of the equation. I'm pretty sure both of the woofers are good, but just want to make sure. And you can hear that on the low end, it's still breaking up, which is to be expected. So now we're going to start poking at the crossover. And I mean that quite literally. I'm just poking things with a screwdriver while it's running right now to see if I can find any loose components, anything that reacts to having a little bit of metal on it, possibly providing some like sinking effect or anything like that. Unfortunately, I didn't get any impact by poking anything or flexing the board or kind of any of the normal check for bad connections kind of stuff. So we'll take the terminals off and go poking around. One of the things I realized here is that the ground terminal is actually running to the positive lead on, I think it's the mid-range, the green one, which seemed a little weird to me that all of the grounds were the white side of the cable pairs like you would expect, except for that one. So now I have to check the other speaker and see if the crossover is set up the same way or if potentially this one's been wired wrong. But it looks like the other one's wired the same way with the ground connected to the colored. So probably not that, so we'll leave that alone. And continue to just kind of look at things, fiddle with it, see if I can figure anything out. Now we're going to break out the soldering iron and I'm gonna go screw things up. But I pretty quickly realized that it's a terrible idea, but then I haven't tested anything yet. And grab the multimeter instead and start poking around on the board. So there are all of these various solder globs there where the various coils and things are connected, and you're just kind of doing some tracing here to figure out things that should be connected to the positive lead there. And so I'm poking around, and I was getting continuity sometimes and not other times. There's a conformal coating over the board, so I had to go through and break that loose a lot. And here's about the point that I realized that the terminal posts aren't really connected to the board. So they are the screws there. And yeah, okay, so you can see I did pull the screw for the positive terminal out, and that's when I realized that the screw doesn't actually thread into anything. It's just a hole in the board, and then it threads to the little push terminal, but that's it. There's nothing really attaching it to the board. And I figured out that the conformal coating on the component side was actually running underneath the screw head of that terminal, so there was really almost nothing that was connecting that terminal screw to the board. There was, a layer of conformal coating in between the screw and the board, and the screw is the only thing connected to the actual terminal. So in order to clean this up, I wound up just cleaning off a bunch of that conformal coating. You can see me going in here now with a razor blade, cleaning up that terminal that the screw should be sitting right against, and try and clean out the gunk under the washer on the screw as well. Throw on some more deoxit, and then I just run the screws around a little bit with the power driver there to just wear in the rest of the area with the conformal coating and just kind of get rid of that. So I've got metal on metal. So then once that's done, this actually wound up solving the problem, which I'm super happy with. I didn't have to really replace anything. So we'll just put the terminal, put the actual terminals back on, the little plastic part that you see from the outside. And because the conformal coating isn't holding the screws in place, now I actually have to screw them on from the back. And then we'll attach the screws that hold the front face of the connector, connection posts on, and hang it back in the back of the speaker, and we'll see how well that works. Test tones all sound good. Let's try some music. Alright, sounds good to me. We will see you all next time, and hopefully we have both speakers working. Till then.